The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care, and peace of mind through it all. Because Blue is here for you.
Welcome to the Made in Iowa podcast presented by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Today, I get the honor of interviewing two executives from ALMACO, Patrick Clem, the CEO, and Ryan McIntosh, the CTO, who talk about their 150-year legacy in manufacturing and the impact they've made on the Iowa economy. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. I am thrilled to have in the studio with me today two leaders from one of my favorite manufacturing companies in the state. We've got Patrick Clem, who is CEO of ALMACO, and Ryan McIntosh, who is CTO. And we're going to dive deep on family-owned legacy businesses. You guys have a huge celebration coming up. It's
Absolutely.
not 50 years. It's not 75 years. It's 150 years old.
It's a long time.
Patrick, I can't imagine the weight of that kind of legacy. What's it feel like?
Oh, I just felt that way a little bit, I guess, when you said that. I think pride is the first thing that comes to mind. You know, we are the oldest business in Story County, and started as a blacksmith company, a blacksmith shop, and there is a lot of sense of pride in being able to help feed the world and help, you know, our employees have a great life through what they're doing in our work and how we're serving Iowa and our clients in the world. But there is a lot of weight in saying, okay, how are we going to get this to go for another 150 years and the technologies that are changing and the business decisions that we're going to make. But we, as a lot of time, don't toot our own horn. So to come up on 150 years, it is a big deal. And we need to make sure to stop and pause and celebrate and give thanks.
Absolutely. You started as a tool shop, you said, Allen Machine.
Yep.
And that was an arrangement with your grandfather, correct?
Well, the relation of the Allen family, who my father eventually purchased the business with, was a third cousin. Okay, so they were a distant relative, and they started as a blacksmith shop in Ames, Iowa, and were basically, if you needed something fixed out of metal, you know, as they progressed, that's where you went. I was told we had the first portable welder in the county, maybe the state, and use that for fixing things, you know, on site.
So you could go out on the farm.
Yep. They went a lot of different places to fix things on site. And my father started working for the business in high school and then later returned and continued to work for them and ended up purchasing the business from the Allen family in 1978 and changed the name from Allen Machine Company to ALMACO.
That's what it comes from.
Everybody says, what's ALMACO? We don't know what that is.
Allen Machine Company.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Aha moment for me. Thank you for that. Ryan, I want to talk about your entry into the company so we can bring you into this conversation. Mm-hmm. You are the Chief Technology Officer, and I want to talk about my visit to ALMACO. It's been a couple years ago. There's this huge tractor. I won't say the brand. I don't know if you want me to say that publicly. The technology that goes into our farm equipment these days blows my mind. You came from a different industry into this very complex world. Talk about the journey here.
You're absolutely right. It's very complex because you've got software, mechanical, electrical, hydraulics, all of it being combined into a fully complete machine that's going to have to do something on a field. So it's very complex. That means that I get to work with a lot of great people And the people that are involved are engineers from all of those disciplines and have specialties to make that equipment work. As you mentioned, I was from another company. The other company produced equipment that went all around the world as well as ALMACO, but I couldn't sit in the equipment. I couldn't operate the equipment in the field. So that's something that really excites me about ALMACO and the future that I have here.
And for the manufacturers that are listening, I want you to really fully picture this. And Patrick, you gave an example of how much trust your clients have in you. So this company created a narrow row planter.
Yep.
And actually had the seeds in the field and called you and said, I'm going to need a harvester, a narrow row harvester by the end of season to harvest the seeds that we just planted.
Yeah. And usually we would like to know a little further in advance on those things, but they kind of sprung that on us. And so we went to work on making a modification, a brand new header system that was on our plot combines to accommodate their row spacing. And so the industry that we're in is changing. The technology changes. So when a partner makes a decision, hey, we're going from 30-inch row spacing to 20-inch spacing because it's going to produce more yield or whatever.
Right.
They turn to us to come up with solutions fast. We don't have a 7-year development program to make something. Usually it's in less than a year that they want a technology developed.
That is absolutely insane. And it speaks to the level of employees that you have there. And recruiting somebody like Ryan, Patrick, how do you find the right employees that fit your family-owned culture that can actually deliver on the promises you're making to your customers?
I'll let Ryan chime in, but a couple things come to mind. Number one, it starts with our values as a company, our family values, our Christian-based faith, and our values of a company of our integrity, our diligence, and a strong reputation in the industry that we serve. But I think one of the reasons that employees really like working at our company and what we look for goes to Ryan's point, is that you don't just work in one segment of our product. You get to have the autonomy to work in the whole thing, so to say, see it come to life, actually work with it in the field or the lab or wherever it may be. And so the variety of tasks that you have the autonomy to work with can be very fulfilling for the right individual that wants that, rather than being so focused on just working on one component or something like that from a development standpoint, and just the variety that we get to work with.
And Ryan, the parts that you developed at your last company were very finite, very small, relatively, compared to a huge tractor, right? And you didn't see the end. It went in stuff. But you didn't see.
Well, and our team, to put it in a different perspective, I guess, is our team members are never really put into a silo. In a larger company, you are in a silo. You're specifically designing a thing that fits into another thing that fits into another process. And you may know the whole process, but our engineers, they have to get their hands dirty and not only design the thing, but they're going to build it sometimes. Then they're going to go out in the field and test and operate it. Then they're going to have a client interaction with how well it went that season and go through and do the iterative process. Other companies do that, of course, as well. But our engineers have to be willing to be multi-diversified, even though they went and got a specific undergraduate degree. So it's been very fun for me because you're able to learn more about electrical or software or mechanical disciplines. And we do that across the company as well. Our lead salesman, he's not just going to go out and knock on doors. He's going to help get that equipment ready for the season.
Wow. One of the differences, I think, that you have over a lot of companies is you're entrepreneurial. And we're going to get into that entrepreneurial spirit as it pertains to the industry that you had served prior to branching out into contract manufacturing. I don't think it's any secret to anybody listening that our ag economy has hit a little bit of trouble over the last couple of years. And it reminded me of a conversation I had with Mary Andringa with Vermeer several years ago when they were fully focused on the telecom industry. You guys had to diversify. You cannot depend on that one industry, especially as volatile as it is and has been from the beginning of time, right? Talk about that conversation that happened within ALMACO to say, you know what? I think we can lean into this contract manufacturing. And then how are you targeting other industries?
I can probably hit on that conversation because we were just becoming stressed with some of the cycles that happen in ag. The consolidation has made it more commodity-based dependent. And so a lot has changed. And so you mentioned a machine that you saw at our facility. We make a very complex harvesting system. It's built from the ground up at our factory from scratch, and it has electrical, hydraulics, diesel engine, everything on it has been designed
I want to remind the audience too, they were in the seed trade, heavily into the seed trade industry, and it is highly, highly regulated. So that's another level of complexity.
So that seed research industry has been our core. It will still always be a big part of our future going forward. But as it was going up and down, we said, we got so many bright people here. We can make just about anything that has made out of metal and an engine on it and electronics and software and those type of things. So we really decided, hey, how do we add some other revenue streams and business channels into this business to help us have a little bit more diversification? And once you make that decision and start networking and talking, you get a lot of opportunities coming your door. And so over the past couple of years, we've had 2 major partnerships, as well as a dozen other partnerships with clients, and more to come. So just capitalizing on the capital that you have with people and machines.
Yeah, I wasn't in the room when the conversation was had because it was had right before I started at ALMACO. But I'm glad that they had the conversation. In the 3 years that we've been really focused in growing the contract manufacturing portion of our business, it has ranged dramatically from a partner that has a sketch on a napkin and has their full heart and soul into that idea and concept to someone that is got full CAD models and is already producing the equipment. They just need to expand how much they can produce because they're in a small town in Iowa and they've just tapped out on the amount of people that they can pull into their employment.
And there's no question that the current administration and the pressure that it's creating with the tariffs, which, by the way, you can argue politically either side. I do believe the long game, if we can sustain this far enough into the future, is going to benefit us. But also, you provide a stability within that supply chain, even if it is as a second tier or a backup for so many companies. And Ryan, you mentioned off air the challenges with a lot of these rural Iowa manufacturers. They just don't have the employee base to be as diverse as they've been in the past and create probably the different products that they've needed for their own equipment.
Mm-hmm. And so not only locally and in the small towns in Iowa, but we've also partnered with people internationally. Shoulder Master is one of our key clients and partners in contract manufacturing, and they're based in Australia. They came to us through a relationship that we have with a Fortune 100 company, and they wanted to grow their North America business. They wanted to introduce their products into North America, and they had the foresight that we don't want to build it in Australia and ship it over there. we want it to be built in the U.S. for the U.S. market.
Wow.
And so they found us. We've been producing their equipment for 2.5 years.
Awesome.
6 different products for them and many more to come.
Hallelujah. That's awesome. Let's talk about the process that you go through, because we do have a lot of manufacturers in rural Iowa that listen to this show. If they've got a part or something that they're producing right now that it's not additive and it's not probably in their core competency, whether it's on a napkin or it's even just an idea, what does that look like internally? What is that process that they go through with you guys to make that vision a reality?
It first starts with relationship. We're a family-owned company. Relationship's very important to us. We don't necessarily want to get into a new partnership or a relationship that's not going to be long-term.
Nice.
So we're first filling that out, seeing if we're going to connect together and if our business, our concepts of business are aligned. Once we understand that, we then understand what is their product and what does it take to produce that product, ensuring that our internal capabilities meet theirs, or what investments are going to be needed to make what they want made. From there, we also go through and understand what capacity they need. How many of these units are they going to need in this year, next year, and into the future? So that's kind of the process that we go through. Of course, once we get their designs, we want to do a first article and then a first initial production run to work out the kinks in our system and making sure we're meeting their quality standards.
Are you doing anything, by the way, with 3D manufacturing and additive manufacturing for prototypes?
We do have 3D printers, not the metal additive printers that you just alluded to, but we do have plastic printers. And we use those oftentimes to concept things before we then form them out of metal. Far more cost effective and, of course, a lot quicker.
Right.
And our engineers have readily access to those devices.
Very cool.
One thing I'll add about how those conversations take place, I think for us, if someone's making a part and they're having pricing competition and they say, hey, can you make this for a penny cheaper? That's probably not the relationship or product that we're looking to.
Right.
As you know, we're a niche specialty manufacturer, so we like those relationships to say, hey, we're really value added here. There's some complexity in here. How can we work together to bring a product that is better than what is out there from the competitors and things like that? And that plays a huge role in trying to make us understand, is this something that we want to partner with these individuals on? And is it going to fit our long-term plan?
The aligned products and adjacencies that you alluded to off air, and that opportunity to transition into other industries has to be really exciting for you guys. As you look at the horizon, what industry are you going, we're going to nail it? This is our blue zone.
I'll start one area that we really like to focus on is on the road construction side of the industry. And that's where Shoulder Master fits in perfectly. We all drive on roads every day.
Right.
And to get to and from our office, there is cyclical nature in that business as well as agriculture, but there's always going to be a demand there. So that's one of our areas that we like to continue to grow in.
Love that.
And find more partners on. And then just the automation space, we want to continue to partner with people in that space. Sabanto is a client of ours that is in startup / maturing their business. And we've been partnered with them for quite a while, building rapid prototypes / harnesses and brackets so they can automate a tractor. So if you drive through Nevada, Iowa, you will oftentimes see a tractor without anyone in it going up and down a field. Some of the equipment going into that is produced at ALMACO. And that's another part that's exciting, is working in that type of industry.
And it really feeds into the labor challenges that we have nationally. and it fills that gap.
Absolutely.
So that'll be great in the future.
To hit on Ryan's question, not a specific industry, but we do a lot of contract manufacturing on parts and sub-assemblies. I think as we look forward in our relationships that we have with Shoulder Master or Sabanto or Suka, what we're looking for is probably a more holistic product. So rather than building a part or a sub-assembly, what entire product can we make and do that for a company that is doesn't have a good partner in that field? So we just have such a vast capability there of taking a piece of equipment from a piece of steel all the way to a finished product through the operations that we have. And so searching several different industries, I would say right now, without sharing our strategic plan, but looking for some major products that we could add to our product line.
One of the operational challenges that you have to have is the longevity of your equipment. It's a double-edged sword. When I did my tour there, I asked the question, what's the oldest piece of equipment you've got operating in the market right now? And he couldn't answer that question because he knew there were older ones. But how old do you know you have a piece of equipment out there that's running?
Yeah, we know for a fact that clients are still using equipment that are 20 years old. And when I say using, fully depending on those to plan or harvest the fleet. And that's due to the fact that a lot of those come back in and get refurbished, where they will be as good as new, so to say.
Yeah.
And so that just extends the life of them. I do know that before a soybean research scientist retired at Iowa State University, they were still using plot combine from the 70s. That was one of the first ones that we ever developed. So they last a long time. It's a blessing and a curse.
It's a blessing and a curse.
I would say.
But of course, that's how you're recruiting new clients too, because they can trust in the product.
Yep.
That leads me to another component of your business that is really important, and that's service. Talk about your attention to service, how you hire in that service department, and the care and concern you put into those relationships.
They're contacting clients more regularly than potentially our salespeople are, because they're fixing equipment as needed, and it's always typically an urgent need when it's in-field service. So we have in-field service and we have factory service. We have a field service technician right now that just he's landing in China today, and he will be helping what we call an IFO, an in-field orientation, set up a client with a new technology that will be allowing them to plant with GPS-enabled planting in a plot scenario. And so you got in-field service, and they're traveling the globe, and then you have factory service. Hiring those individuals, of course, it's two different people. You got one that's really wants to travel, wants to see the world, wants to work on equipment anywhere in the world. And then you want people that are local, maybe they're farming on the side in addition to fixing ALMACO equipment.
Wow. And identifying the level of skill that it takes to put them on a plane, trust that they're going to do the job. It has to be perfect. I mean, they have to know what they're doing. What types of individuals do you hire? Are those in-field folks, are they engineers typically?
Some of them, I'm not going to remember the full words of the abbreviation, are from the AST program at ISU.
Okay.
Agricultural Science Technologies, I believe.
Okay.
Some of them have, I think, been engineers in the past, and then they don't want to do the design side. They want to be out in the field. Or some of them have just worked in and around farming.
They're mechanics.
They're mechanics.
Wow.
So then they're very good at the mechanical side. They have to learn the technology side, the software side. And that's where the engineering and the technician relationship's really important. So that team member over in China, he's not alone. He's a phone call away from our engineers that are going to be supporting him as needed to get that client up and going.
All right. So we know you've got equipment in China. How many continents do you have equipment on?
All of them except for Antarctica. And unless they're going to grow corn and soybeans there, we'll have it there too. So
You need road equipment. We need to focus the road equipment on Antarctica, so you can check that one off your list.
And Ryan mentioned, we're talking about service technicians and the right type of individuals. One of the blessings is that on a lot of those roles, you do get to see a lot of the United States. You do get to travel internationally at times and things like that. So if somebody is, the right person has to be hungry and looking forward to travel. And we have several open positions right now for those roles.
Do you? Yeah. Oh, man, that would be amazing. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Here's me like running through it in my head. That would be so fun. I would love, but yeah. So no, I'm not going to take that one. All right, let's talk about we talked about the tariffs and how they've impacted contract manufacturing here. One of the things that you shared is that you recently won a new project in China. So you're still working in China, regardless of the instability that's going on right now. How much do you let those issues impact that relationship building in other countries?
I think agriculture is global. And so if we're going to be a leading provider on helping feed the world through the products and services, you have to maintain those relationships. And you have to look forward and say, where are the geographic areas that we're going to do business in? South America is our second largest market, and we've been working down there for over 50 years. We have a subsidiary business, ALMACO Brazil, down there. And so a lot of corn and soybeans down in South America, so a lot of work and products down there. And so you mentioned relationships. It's not just one person that controls those decisions all around the world, obviously, of who we're working with. So you got to stay in touch with all the right players. And thankfully, people in our industry, they're collecting data with our machines. They need consistency across the products. So typically, if our product works well in one region of the world, they try to duplicate that where they can in other regions of the world.
Awesome. I like to end with the question, what excites you most about the future? This contract manufacturing has to be exciting. Is there anything else out there that you're just chomping at the bit?
I could start. One thing that I really like about ALMACO being a family-owned company is we're still very entrepreneurial based. One of the things we've recently brought to market is weld tables. We've manufactured and used our own weld tables for decades, and we've seen that other people are trying to do more manufacturing in the U.S., and the weld tables are perfect for helping others do manufacturing in the U.S. It's that entrepreneurship that I really like that will extend into the next 150 years. But I also just love the new technologies that are coming to the forefront of agriculture, but just the world. AI and how it can be introduced into other pieces of technology is really exciting. And then just being more able to capitalize on those technologies, but that they're still touching dirt and to be connected to the land and producing food that's feeding the world. That's exciting as well.
Huge. So important.
Took the words out of my mouth, Ryan. A couple other things that I would add is we do want to make a difference. In ag research, we're helping feed the world, whether it's working with road construction equipment or some other projects. It's just not a job for us. We want to make an impact on humankind, so that's important to us. And I think back the 150 years of business, we transitioned from a blacksmith shop to a major global manufacturer, and that was a turning point at some time for our business. But a shout out and a testament to our employees. They're the ones that make us successful. So I think of moving forward, what type of employees are we going to need in our service area, in our manufacturing area? And it's a blessing to be an employer here in Iowa. Our work ethics are excellent. And as I look to the future, we're sitting here 5 years from now, we're going to have some more things to talk about, obviously, on the products that we're doing on the ag side and in the contract manufacturing
And
side.
hopefully in 5 years, the ag economy's turned.
Yeah. We'll be hiring more by then, too.
Exactly.
So just technology is obviously changing faster than it has ever changed before in that arena as well as in other arenas. So
It's hard to keep up and stay ahead of it, but it also creates additional demand for you guys because as technology changes, you've got to be there with the product to fit it.
Yep, absolutely.
So, well, it has been an absolute pleasure.
thank you.
I've been a fan forever, and I finally got to meet you guys. So thank you so much for taking time. How are you going to celebrate your 150 years?
It's a good question.
There'll be a party, I hope.
There definitely will be a celebration. 150 years is a long time. One of our downfalls is we're quickly on to the next thing, and we need to make sure that we do take a pause and thank all of those that have helped us get to where we are and continue to be a business and thank our employees. So there will be a celebration of some sorts.
Thanks for being here. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Made in Iowa. Subscribe, like, and share wherever you listen. Catch episodes weekly from the Iowa Everywhere studio on the BPC streaming network.